part of 3.2. Okay, I'll discuss this again next class, but I just want to go through half or 3/4 of this section, and then I'll answer any questions about the Chapter 2 material before you take your quiz. All right. Hey, expanding polynomials, the terminology I use might be a little bit different from what you're used to, but the word expand is just identifies the process of multiplying and rewriting it as a polynomial. And so it's kind of both of those directions are embedded within that one instruction to expand. And so when you multiply polynomials, I want to start kind of the basic stuff and work our way up. The first thing that you're going to look at, or the easiest thing, is you're going to look to distribute. You'll use the distributive property to multiply. And we already did that in the last couple examples. Here are the last example. And that is if you take an expression and you multiply a monomial times a binomial or trinomial, you'll use the process of distributing to expand this out. So when we multiply through, 5x times a 3x gives us a 15x squared. Multiply the like parts, so 5 times 3 is 15. X times x is x squared. And then distribute to the second term. 5x times a negative 2 is negative 10x. Okay, so using the distributive property, we can expand this out. And once again, expanding means to write it in the form of a polynomial. Okay, we've also, anytime you write your answer in standard form. Okay, so that's a monomial times a binomial. Once you get to binomial times a binomial, we have a process that you guys should be aware of called foiling. Okay, so if you took an expression 5x minus 1, or let's say 5x plus 1 times 3x minus 2. You guys should have already learned to expand this out, you FOIL. Foiling really is just the distributive property. There's no difference between these two steps because we're going through that same process. We take our 5x and we distribute it through, which is equivalent to taking the product of our first terms. 5x times 3x was 15x squared. Now we're going to distribute that 5x to the second term, negative 2. That's also considered the product of our outer terms. So 5x times a negative 2 is negative 10x. And now we move to the next term and distribute it, which is also equivalent to the product of our inner terms. 1 times a 3x gives us a 3x. Again, notice I stack this vertically just so it's easier to combine my like terms. And then distribute the 1 through the second term, which is also considered the product of our last terms here. 1 times a negative 2 gives us a negative 2. And when we combine all of our like terms, we get 15x squared, here a net of negative 7x minus 2. So we get our expression. It's written in polynomial form, so we went through and expanded this. Okay, so foiling occurs when you multiply two binomials. It's really just the